For many Americans who get their information through the small lens of news headlines, Pakistan can seem like an Islamic extremist nation, a breeding ground for terrorists with ties to 9/11 attacks, while others think it's not a country at all. It's simply part of India. Of course, neither of these things are true. So what else do Americans get wrong about Pakistan? Well, those who believe that Pakistan is a terrorist state get their misguided ideas from the fact that there is a Taliban presence in rural Pakistan. A lot of this projection also stems from the idea that Pakistan is a devout Muslim country. However, the majority of Pakistanis don't hold extremist views and don't want the Taliban in their country. One Islamic blogger commented, "The extremists bring shame and embarrassment to Muslims as a whole." And in a recent Pew survey, when Pakistani citizens were asked if suicide bombings could be justified to defend Islam, an overwhelming majority said never. On both sides of the Afghanistan-Pakistan border, the Taliban's presence is incredibly unwelcome, especially in Pakistan. Speaking of which, can you name the bordering countries of Pakistan? It's a common assumption that Pakistan is part of the Middle East, but in fact, Pakistan is part of South Asia and it's an integral part of their identity. For one, they don't speak common Middle Eastern languages like Arabic, Persian, and Kurdish. Instead, they speak Urdu and English. They're influenced more by Sufism and more tolerant of the impact of Hindu customs from their history with India. And this isn't the only thing that Pakistan picked up from their neighbors in the East. They actually share a lot of cultural ties, which brings us to the next misconception. Not everyone in Pakistan hates India. Sure, we can't ignore that tension has increased, especially along border towns, but Pakistan and India's relationship is far from black and white. At one point, Pakistan was actually part of India, and before the partition in 1947, when British colonizers divided the nations, Muslims, Hindus, and Sikhs were civil neighbors. They went shopping in the same market, they socialized, their kids played together. Now, this isn't to say that they are the same, but they are similar. But there's no doubt that the unrest and violence that occurred during partition between these peoples definitely took its toll on relations between Pakistan and India. Still, as one Pakistani human rights activist put it, India and Pakistan are bound at the cultural hip, from their booming sportsmanship in cricket to their enjoyment of Bollywood films and Pakistani teledramas. And while they may not always get along in their home countries, Indians and Pakistanis freely mingle abroad at universities and in professional circles, and retired military men routinely swap war stories over bottles of aged Scotch whiskey in international capitals. Internationally, Pakistan wants to be more than a nation that is a sum of its problems, to break free from any headlines that give it a tarnished image. Instead, this young country wants to focus on building a brighter future. As a Pakistani reporter stated on the Tribune, when it comes to declaring Pakistan a failed state, the mainstream media is quick to connect the dots and focus hysterically on doomsday scenarios that drive ratings. But Pakistan has a confluence of positive economic, geopolitical, security, and political factors that are setting up Pakistan for success and firmly nudging us in the right direction.